think it was manifested in the opening presentation from Mark Gregory from EY that one of the problems we have with economics today is that actually the economists can't measure productivity anymore. And therefore, if we're trying to measure how telecoms improve productivity, we've got a real problem, because if the economists can't measure it, then we as an industry can't measure it. We're also breaking down the barriers between what was a self-contained telecom industry and the adjacent industries which we're now supporting. So the challenge for economics is not about just purely what revenue comes back to the telcos. It's actually the knock-on effect, how we're stimulating growing revenue for other parties. And that's something that telcos have traditionally never done. So the mindset change needed within telecom organisations, all the way from the top to the bottom, where everyone's involved in thinking about how we generate value, not just for their customers, but also for the B2B2C type model, is so important. And that's the change that we see in the economics of telecoms. I think the part of the debate we entitle it as the plethora of platforms, because everybody claims to have a platform. And I think once again the problem here is that telcos believe, in my mind, that they have a platform and their platform is the most important part of the model. Whereas in fact, in many ways, it's just a supporting component. I'm not suggesting by any means it's as simple as electricity or air or water or cooling or whatever else, but actually it's part of the supporting function. And as a platform, you've got to be bringing things together, creating value by bringing different parties together. The economics of it are important. Of course, we're getting the scale through cloud, we're getting the scale from the devices that are out there, and therefore it's much more important that the telcos, with gigabit, with 5G, with all these things, create the underlying glue which helps build those platforms. They don't need to be those platforms. They need to get that mindset change where you're a supporting function, a really important, critical supporting function, but it's helping people build other platforms, and most importantly, build a platform economy, because we get a bit confused between infrastructure and what is the platform. And I think in many ways telecoms networks are infrastructure, because we're giving the on-ramps to allow people to do stuff, but it's allowing other people to do it. They're creating the platforms on top of it. Healthcare is a massive issue for every country, and I think one of the things we must always think of is that the telecoms infrastructure and services are fundamentally national, and therefore supporting that national healthcare environment is unbelievably important. We tend to enter the system through the general practitioner, through the doctor's side, then hit primary care, secondary care, and then come out the other end in social care. We've never joined those things together. And what came out in the IoT discussion today is that actually taking something like remote patient monitoring and leveraging data analytics, leveraging the communications and giving us reliable, sustainable connectivity will actually help underpin a lot of the business case. Of course, for taking some of the cost out of the healthcare system, of course leveraging a bit more attitudinal change, if you like, to let people do more online, more video-based diagnostics. So we're changing the way people think about healthcare, we're changing the way that people think about how communications can support the business model, and most importantly, the telcos need to change the way they work with the healthcare providers to actually deliver the information.